Hi, my name is Abby Scarsella, and this is my performance-based project. For my project, I chose to use Madeline Hunter's Instructional Theory into Practice model to teach a lesson on the Declaration of Independence to 5th grade social studies students. The lesson presented will be completed in 1 day of instruction. Madeline Hunter's Instructional Theory into Practice model is based on 4 questions. While planning a lesson, a teacher should consider human growth and development, content, classroom management, materials and planning, and finally, human relations and instructional skills. From these questions, Hunter's model includes 7 elements of instructional planning: setting objectives, the creation of an anticipatory set, input, check for understanding, guided practice, and independent practice. Throughout my project, I integrated 7 key strategies to enhance student learning. Identifying similarities and differences is one strategy I use to engage students in a comparing and contrasting activity. I used the reinforcing effort and providing recognition strategy throughout my lesson by constantly encouraging and praising students as they completed their work and demonstrated their understanding. Another strategy I applied was the homework and practice strategy to provide students the opportunity to deepen their understanding and skills relative to the content that was presented during the lesson. I also used non-linguistic representations in the form of pictures, diagrams, and graphic organizers. The cooperative learning strategy was used when I split the students into groups of 3 as part of the anticipatory set to activate prior knowledge. I implemented the setting objectives and providing feedback strategy by communicating to my students the purpose for the lesson and what they would learn during the instruction. I also explained why accomplishing the task is important, useful, and relevant to their life situations. I also gave immediate and constructive feedback to students throughout the lesson as well as on their homework assignment. Lastly, I used cues and questioning to aid students in the learning process and required them to analyze the information presented to them. To begin my lesson and activate prior knowledge of the learners, the students will review the causes that led up to the Americans wanting total independence from British control. They will be placed in groups of 3 to complete a cause and effect graphic organizer. Now that students have reviewed the reasons tension was created between the American colonists and the British government, the students would be made aware of the lesson objectives. Today we will learn about the 3 main reasons the colonies wanted to declare independence. We will also identify and explain why the decisions made by the Americans was a dangerous act. During the input section, I would teach the main skills of the lesson by explaining the 3 main reasons the colonies wanted to declare independence. The Declaration of Independence states the rights Americans are born with and cannot be taken away. These are the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Next, it says that if a government abuses these rights, people should be free to create a new government. Since King George III had abused his power and these rights, the document explains the American colonists had decided to declare independence. Throughout the explanation, examples of how the British government abused their power would be used, as well as diagrams for students to visually see. An animated video would be shown of George Washington reading the powerful words of the Declaration of Independence to his patriot troops just days after it was written. The soldiers have high spirits, and they are ready to defend America's right to be free. Finally, students will read a passage stating why signing the document was a dangerous decision. To determine if students possess the information to achieve the objective, individual private responses and signaled responses will be used. For the individual private responses, students would be presented with a question and provided think time. A brief written response answering the question would be sent to me by the student in a note. This makes students accountable for demonstrating progress towards achievement of the needed information. I would ask, what risk was taken by those who signed the Declaration of Independence? After reviewing the correct answer, we would move on to a signaled response by using emoticons. I would ask students to put up a green check if the statement is true, or a red X if it is false. The British King's abuse of power and his taking away the rights of the American people caused the American colonists to declare independence from Spain. I would give students an appropriate amount of time to respond. By reviewing each student's answers, I will be able to validate the learning of each individual. For the guided practice exercise, students would complete a descriptive pattern organizer identifying facts and information about the Declaration of Independence. I would monitor the students to make sure answers are accurate by providing immediate feedback. To conclude the lesson, I would assign homework to ensure they have mastered the skills without teacher guidance. Students will write a paragraph listing rights they would have included in the Declaration of Independence and why they are important. Students will also have to identify similarities and differences among the rights listed in the real declaration and the one they created. The following day, effort will be reinforced and recognition given on the assignment through feedback. This would be both written and oral. I would like to thank you for watching my performance-based project displaying the instructional theory into practice model. I hope you enjoyed watching this presentation. Thank you.